So we had a real great thing going here, but then the guerrilla war in the early 80s put a stop to it for a while and made it impossible for us to even sleep here. So that's when my family was moved to the United States. Of course, I had to go back and I had to keep things going over those through those dangerous times. But I was mostly living in Guatemala City. But in doing so, we began projects in a lot of other areas of the country, while at the same time at least maintaining the business here. But all the educational aspects of what we were doing were stopped. And at that time, to provide education for the children in the area, I donated a piece of property to the government. The Foundation for Indian Development provided money for the materials. The people did the work, and this school was built and given to the government, and it's operated by the government today with 4 full-time teachers. Of course, we do a lot of other things now to supplement the education of the young people, of the children. Here we're getting ready for a marathon race. You can see all the good foot gear that they have. It's not exactly LA gear, nor is it Nike, but there they go anyway. And so we have a lot of activities this type. And then there's the middle-sized kids that are off and running, heading back towards Valparaiso to see who is going to get the prizes. And so here they are arriving at the Central House area. And so there's the winner in the older group. And then pretty soon here, coming across the finish line will be the winner of the younger group, who of course ran a shorter distance. These activities are just representative of many different activities. There's the winner of the women's category, Melinda Shona, one of our preschool teachers. And they're the ones that get the booby prize. And then there's the little kids, the 5-year-olders, and they're off and running. Aura Marin is running the race, and actually she's older, and so she didn't qualify to win. But there they are, heading for the Central House area and the finish line. And a little girl won. So these are tough little kids. If they had proper, here the 3 and 4-year-olders off and running. So these kids do real good, and the people do too. And if they just had proper nutrition and were able to live in cleaner circumstances, they'd be able to do so much better. So here comes the winner, the little kid. It's Jesse Benjamin Anderson Botzok. He's got a Book of Mormon name, Benjamin. His older brother, Cordell Ammon, Book of Mormon name. Then there's Nephi, of course, and so we take quite seriously the sacred book of the Indians. Then, of course, we have the lake that was produced not only for fishing and for boating, but of course mostly for swimming. And so here the young ladies are in an anniversary day race. And there they go. Not exactly the best start in the world, but they all learned to swim here, most of them with the help of Marilena. Of course, you can see them really taking off fast there, and you can see them really coming in full speed here too. Of course, I had to double the speed of the camera to make it look good. And here's the winner of in the women's category, another of the Shona family, Florinda. And so there is just a few scenes showing all the kinds of activities that we have to make life worthwhile and to make it unnecessary for them to drink and do things which have traditionally been Indian customs. So there just isn't any drunkenness anymore here. When the activities are over with, when the preschool is over with every day, they get their ride home in our school bus. And so it's probably the only little preschool of this size on a plantation like this in the whole country that has its own school bus. I should add that this tractor that you see giving them the ride home happened to be the first project of the foundation in 1970. They felt that we needed a tractor to be able to work and do agricultural experimentation, and as a teaching tool, teaching the young men how to drive. And so the foundation helped get this tractor. Since it's rolled off mountains a number of times, it was backed into a raging river and washed downstream, where the only thing that was showing was the top of the exhaust pipe, like as though it was a submarine. And it had to be, we had to do a little diving and get tables on it and pull it out with a bulldozer. So we've had to reconstruct this tractor half a dozen times, or maybe probably only 4 times to date. But here the kids are, they're all home now. Now we're going to one of the village areas, the Aldea Naquitob, which is above the plantation a couple of miles, on a road that we helped construct, or the foundation helped construct. Usually, even today, even with this road built, you can't go up it in anything but a 4-wheel drive vehicle. But it had recently been fixed up because on this day their school was going to be inaugurated, which we helped construct. And so we were able to make it up in this 2-wheel drive pickup truck. We used to have a 4-wheel drive pickup truck, diesel, Toyota, but it was taken from me at gunpoint as 2 young criminals abducted me in Guatemala City and drove off into the countryside, and finally let me out, but I never saw the truck again. But here we are at the Naquitob School. It previously just had 2 classrooms built by the government. We have added 2 much nicer classrooms onto it since then, plus an office and a kitchen. And so here we are at the anniversary celebration. The women preparing food for a luncheon that will be held after the program. And so the scenes that you will see here, there's the civil defense group that stand 24-hour guard duty armed over their village. But it should be mentioned here that we have surrounded Paradise Valley with aid projects. All the villages around us get help every year. And in a sense, this is our protection. Let's listen to, just for a moment here, the national hymn being sung in the native dialect, Pocumchi. Here they are giving me an award. Actually, I'm receiving it in the name of the foundation for having helped build their school. And then afterwards, here we are with the lunch with government dignitaries that came for the inauguration of the school. And so this is all a very traditional thing in projects of this nature. Here in another area near the plantation, we're seeing the Parachoch village school that we helped construct, and behind we just recently have helped them build new sanitary facilities, even with flush toilets. It's one of the few rural schools probably in the whole country that has flush toilets. Then across the, I should mention, we help this school and all those surrounding us every year with educational materials, pencils, notebooks, crayons, things of that nature. And so a lot of help is given every year to everybody that's around us. And this it really is a protection to us. During the guerrilla war, all of these people all around us defended us when the guerrillas would come into their villages and gather them for meetings to try and convert them to communism. And these people said, okay, but don't hurt Valparaiso, don't hurt the gringo, he helps us. And so me, with my time and with the financial help from the foundation, have been able to do this kind of thing, and has been a protection. This is a little health center or clinic, plus a communal hall that we helped this Parachoch village construct also. And then a little further down the road towards Coban is the Aldea Tontem, where we also helped construct a school. Our contribution in the construction of this government school was to put the roof on it. And so you'll notice that most of the 8 projects that we have are with, in education at least, are with government schools, except those schools that we operate ourselves. And here you see another one. We provided the wood for the roof and the windows and the doors for this junior high school in Santa Cruz, Verapaz. We also provided the wood for the grade school, the primary level school, which you see here behind the soccer stadium. And so there's just another of our projects. And then we're at Acamal, which is a refugee village from the times of the guerrilla war. And here we have helped. In fact, you'll notice the foundation colors painting it. And here we're meeting the very fine people that run it. The young man, Federico Beles, who's an old friend of mine from years ago. We've worked together, for at least 15 years now or more on aid projects throughout the whole area. A very fine man of a charitable nature that gives of his own time. Here we are seeing the school kitchen, which we helped them construct. There's also a little warehouse here. You won't really see anything inside in the kitchen because it's dark. As soon as I get back to Guatemala, we will be providing them with some transparent pieces of roofing material so that there will be light in their school. In addition to the kitchen and the warehouse there, a little storeroom, we've helped them also with educational materials, many of which you see on the walls here in Federico's classroom. And then we help them construct their shower facility. Here, if the kids come to school dirty, they take a bath right now. And so here you have really fine people that are teaching these people. Here we're showing them a video movie, The Wilderness Family. And so this is something that we do in all of the schools that we have connection with. We show them commercial movies of the Walt Disney type. We show them Good Life videos that I produce. We also show them Christian education videos. And so we use television and video a lot and portable generators. Here they are showing their gratitude for the help that the foundation has given. So there the young man is giving a little speech, and every child was to bring an egg to school to donate to me, and this is my wage. So it's been said that I don't earn anything, but hey, I do. Every now and again they give me a few eggs, or they give me an old chicken, or they give me a few bananas, and so they do show their gratitude in very good ways. Now there are some groups in the country that don't. They just haven't learned to be grateful, it seems, and they want everything for nothing. We generally shy away from those kind of people and help those who are willing to help themselves, who are willing to put everything into these projects that they can, who are willing to show gratitude for it, and who in turn are willing to turn around and help their own people through what we call the Community Improvement Program. Now we have traveled across the country about 4 hours, and we are at the Center for Indian Development No. 2 school in Patzicia. It's a building that the foundation owns, and here you can see the Good Life displays all around the hallway. These same Good Life displays which we are seeing here representing the principles, the Good Life principles, decorate the walls of our cultural hall in the plantation. So it's healthy homes, and it's cleanliness, and it's education for everybody. It's industry. It's proper nutrition, of course, and sharing with others. And then, of course, there's some religious principles. Here, you just get a glimpse of some of our teachers. This is Humberto Shikai, our director in the Patzicia school and in the entire area. And here you see the teachers that work under his supervision. They're all native Guatemalans. They're all natives from the Patzicia area, or the Chimaltenango area. They all speak Spanish and the dialect. They all are certified public teachers. And so we have a great core of young people that all have Indian blood. Some of them would be considered Ladinos, but they're all have Indian blood, of course. And a couple of them, of course, still wear the traditional clothing. Here we're seeing the annual parade on at their fair time. And you see our school with about 200 students on the grade school level marching. In addition, there are about 50 on the junior high school level that study in the afternoons. And so there's about 250 students that study at our school that receives about half support from the foundation. The other half is paid by the Indian families themselves. These floats that you see in the parade, 5 of them were also made by our school and the families and the parents of the school. And so the parade in Patzicia every year would not be a parade if it was not for the Center for Indian Development No. 2 school. Here you see the mayor and the dignitaries, and here you see them at a luncheon at the school after the parade. This is the mayor, Patzicia, and here you will see the commander of the military base in Chimaltenango, also the congressman or diputado from Chimaltenango in the National Congress, ex-mayor from Patzicia. Across the canyon towards the village of Las Candelarias, where the foundation helped establish a potable water system years ago, and we are traveling. So here you see some of the agriculture of the area. You see beautiful broccoli, which the Indians have learned to produce with help from exporters from the United States. And so this broccoli all goes to the United States or other countries. Very little of it is eaten in the country, except at Valparaiso. There it's our favorite vegetable, and that's what we'll give President Bush if he ever comes to visit. And so the agriculture in the area has been blessed by people, exporters that have come in, established their facilities, and brought good seed and taught the Indians how to grow these vegetables, and so they're really doing well. Here we are visiting the Ariel and Ines Anderson Chuluk School. This is a school constructed years ago in honor of my parents, who were the founders of the foundation and were the main contributors for many years. It's not open on the day when this movie was taken because it happened to be a Sunday, but here you see the 3-room classroom that the foundation built in honor of my parents, and it bears their name. Here, interestingly, we're seeing the marble plaques, one to my parents and the other one to the leaders of the community, the municipality, and the foundation that helped build the school. Interestingly, these plaques have been misunderstood by some people from the United States and fantasized as altars where they believe the Indians worship me and my parents. This is a very sad thing that people let their imaginations get that wild. These are very traditionally a part of Guatemala. There is not an aid project or a school built or even a sewer system constructed without a marble plaque being installed somewhere in gratitude for those who built or helped build the school. Now we're visiting the school again at Patzicia, and we're Here, showing some of the work that we do with all of the various groups in the country. Nutritional experiments to show them that people are what we eat. Also that the greatness of a nation depends on the way they nourish themselves. And so we teach these Indians how important it is to have a proper diet. And so we use animals to show them the difference between various foods. Those chickens are going to be eating white corn, white ground up corn, 10 pounds of it. So we weigh them in, and of course we give them an exact 10 pounds of feed, and when they arrive at finish their feed, they will be weighed out. The second pair will be eating yellow corn, and so they're weighed in, and they'll be weighed out too, and so we'll be able to determine exactly how much food it takes to put on a pound of meat. The third group will be eating a well-balanced diet, or commercial broiler mash, or concentrado as we call it in Spanish. And so we do this to show the vast difference and the great contrast in results from eating different kinds of food. This is something the Indians don't really understand. For them, people food is corn and black beans. Vegetables and fruits, especially vegetables, are not eaten very much. But here, we attempt to show all of these areas, and we repeat this almost every year in most areas, to remind them that a diet of just white corn, as you see here, is going to produce very scrawny chickens. Usually they only increase about 8 ounces in weight. The yellow corn will they will increase about 12 ounces in weight, and then but they'll be real cute chickens. They'll be have good color and be very cute, but they'll be small. And then those that eat the commercial broiler mash, it's a well-balanced diet, increase about 4.5 pounds or more in weight by eating only 10 pounds of feed. In fact, we've got that up now to almost 6 pounds of increase with 10 pounds of feed. And so it's really impressive, showing them how important it is to eat a well-balanced diet. And so here the kids are in Patzicia beginning the experiment. We also, of course, every year run bacteriological experiments. We have found that the Indians will not take seriously being clean in all the ways they need to be clean to eliminate disease, for example, until they are convinced of the invisible world of bacteria, of microbes. And so here we are culturing bacteria. We've got a fly inside that petri dish walking around, and then we're going to take another one that let's see what we're going to be doing with this one. This one is going to show what happens when you've got a cough, and when you that when you cough, you are spewing microbes into the air, and so I'm going to cough in this. I really wasn't sick, but I couldn't find anybody else at that moment that was either. And so there's the cough. Now we're going to take water. We're going to take it right out of the pila, not out of the tap. We're going to take it out of the pila, which is they're usually quite dirty in Guatemala. And the kids say, "Hey, no, you can't see anything there." But none of them want to drink it because they know enough that water right out of the pila should not be drank. And so we put a few drops of water in that one. And then we're going to get some fingerprints off of one of the young boys, and we're asking him, "Have you got any microbes in your hand or bacteria?" And he said, "Well, yeah, he knows a little bit about it. He's gone through these experiments before." And so the top half is going to be from the grade school, and then on the other half of the petri dish we'll put the fingerprints of some of the junior high school students in the afternoon. And so here we go with his fingerprints. Usually when hold our hand up and ask a group of Indians out in the hills, do you see any bacteria there? And they say no, and we tell them that there are little animals there, and they think we're crazy, of course. So we have to literally show them that there are bacteria, that there are little animals that can make us sick, and that can rot things and create bad odors. And so there you see a little girl, we rubbed her hand down on the ground. Then we get out the old microscope, which my father found in 1938 in a garbage dump. So far, it's the only microscope we've had to do this work over all these years, and you can't really see bacteria very well with it. So we deceive people just a little bit, and we get some of the cattle semen that I use to artificially inseminate my cows, and we don't tell them what it is, but we put that on the on the plate and show that to them. They see it wiggling in there, and so we've convinced them that they're bacteria. A couple days later, we get together with them again to see what has resulted from on the petri dishes, what has grown. We've kept them in a warm place for a couple of days so they would grow, and so that they will be able to see the bacteria and they will be able to smell the bad odor. And so there's the witness, or the testigo, however you say it in English, and there is one colony there. Little bacteria got in there somehow during my 4-hour trip from Valparaiso, perhaps. And then here's the one that the fly walked around on. There's bacteria all over in there. And so, and this was one that was just open to the air. In fact, we had them come by sweeping the floor. It was stirring up a little dust. And so there's a lot of bacteria. This is from the fingerprints. And so, and then this was from my coughing, and there not much showed up. And so I guess I was pretty healthy after all. This is the water. But they're seeing that literally there are bacteria. Of course, what we need is a good microscope so that we can then take a culture off of this plate and show them exactly what is there. So we hope to be able to do that in the future. And so this is something that this was saliva out of a young fellow's mouth. He didn't have very many, and so we indicated to the young women that they could probably accept a kiss from him without being in too much danger.